Every day, 69 million people worldwide bite into a McDonald's burger. But how much do we really know about what goes on behind those famous golden arches? From surprising food facts to insider secrets, these 10 revelations might forever change how you look at America's most famous fast food chain. Let's start with something you might have seen online. Those viral photos of a McDonald's burger from 2004 sitting on someone's shelf, looking almost identical to the day it was purchased. No mold, no visible decay, just a slightly dried-out burger that refuses to decompose like regular food should. But before you panic and swear off fast food forever, let's separate fact from fiction. No, McDonald's burgers aren't made of plastic. They're not pumped full of alien chemicals that prevent decomposition. The truth is both simpler and more interesting. McDonald's burgers resist decay for three main reasons. First, they're incredibly thin and cooked at high temperatures, which removes most of the moisture bacteria need to grow. Second, they contain salt, a natural preservative humans have used for thousands of years. Third, the controlled environment of fast food preparation creates consistent products designed for stability. When scientists conducted experiments comparing homemade burgers with McDonald's burgers stored in identical conditions, guess what? Both dried out rather than rotted when kept in dry environments. The difference? Homemade burgers are usually thicker, retaining more moisture that allows decomposition to begin. Next time someone shows you that ancient Happy Meal that looks suspiciously preserved, you'll know the real science behind it. But this is just scratching the surface of what goes into the food at the Golden Arches. When you bite into a quarter pounder, what do you taste? Beef, bun, ketchup, pickles, and onions. Simple, right? Not really. Look at the burger wrapper and you'll see a long list of stuff you didn't know you were eating. McDonald's tells us more about their food these days, but most people have no idea what's really in their meal. Let's talk about those famous fries. You think it's just potatoes, oil, and salt? They also have sugar. They call it dextrose, to make them look more golden brown. And that natural beef flavor that makes them taste so good? It's not even real beef. It comes from wheat and milk, so vegetarians beware. The coating on a McChicken has more than just flour. It has processed soybean oil and a special chemical that stops oil from bubbling over. This same chemical is used in silly putty. Don't worry too much, though. They use very tiny amounts of it just to keep the cooking oil from splashing. Even a plain Big Mac bun has more than 20 ingredients. There's corn syrup, soy products, and a substance that's also used to make wall plaster. Some people say the vanilla in McDonald's ice cream comes from beaver butts. That's not true. Their vanilla flavor is fake, but at least no beavers were involved. Now that we know what's in our food, why can't we stop eating it even when we know better? McDonald's food isn't just tasty by accident. Food experts work hard to create what they call the bliss point, that perfect mix of fat, sugar, and salt that makes your taste buds dance and your brain beg for more. It's not magic, it's smart business. Those golden fries, they're designed to hit your mouth with an exact crunch that makes your brain light up with joy. The sound actually matters almost as much as the taste. When tested with different levels of crunch, people rated the crunchier ones as fresher and better tasting, even when they were the exact same fries. The smell plays a huge part, too. McDonald's food releases specific scents that trigger hunger. Their beef patties give off maximum aroma when you unwrap them. By the time you take your first bite, your brain is already swimming in happy chemicals. Each McDonald's sauce has been tested hundreds of times to find the perfect balance. Too sweet? Add more salt. Too bland? Pump up the umami. The goal is flavors that give you a quick hit of pleasure but fade fast, making you reach for another bite. The sugar content is no joke either. A single McDonald's milkshake can pack around 63 grams of sugar. That's about 15 teaspoons. At that level, sugar activates the same brain regions as many other addictive things we consume. Even the speed matters. Fast food is designed to be eaten quickly, which means your body doesn't have time to send "I'm full" signals before you've eaten too much. Now, we know why we keep coming back for more. But there's another factor that keeps us reaching for those golden arches, and it goes beyond just how the food tastes. Remember that Big Mac you ate as a kid? The one that seemed almost too big to fit in your hands? You're not just getting older. That burger is actually getting smaller. McDonald's has quietly been changing their portion sizes for decades. The changes happen so slowly that most customers never notice, but the evidence is clear when you look at the numbers. Take the classic large fries. In the 90s, a large fry order weighed 5.9 ounces. Today, just 5 ounces. Nearly an entire ounce disappeared while the price went up. The same thing happened with the Big Mac patty, dropping from 3.9 ounces in the 70s to just 3.2 ounces today. Even the buns got smaller. The diameter of a standard McDonald's hamburger bun shrunk by almost half an inch since the early days. Half an inch might not sound like much, but multiply that by billions of burgers, and you're talking about mountains of saved bread dough. Drinks are the one exception to this shrinking trend. In the 70s, a large Coke was 21 ounces. Today, it's 32 ounces, over 50% bigger. Why? Because soda syrup is dirt cheap, and bigger drinks make customers feel like they're getting a better deal overall. This shrinking strategy has a fancy business name: wait out. It helps boost profits without raising prices enough to scare customers away. The math is simple. Cut just 10% of product from each item, and you've saved millions while most people barely notice. Some menu items have shrunk even more dramatically. The original Chicken McNugget from the early 80s was nearly 25% larger than today's version. The trays haven't gotten any smaller. Those same big red trays make the food look even tinier than it really is. While portion sizes keep changing, what about the price you're paying? That's where things get even more interesting. That bright, colorful value menu with all those meal deals looks like a bargain hunter's dream. But is it really saving you money? Let's do some math that McDonald's hopes you won't. Value meals work on a simple idea. Bundle items together for less than their individual prices. It sounds good until you realize that sometimes ordering items separately is actually cheaper. Take a Big Mac meal with fries and a drink. At many locations, buying these items individually can save you up to 50 cents. Not a fortune, but it adds up if you're a regular customer. The real trick is in the drink sizes. Notice how the price difference between a small and medium drink is tiny, usually around 20 cents. This is deliberate. The actual cost to McDonald's for that extra soda is just pennies, but it makes customers feel like they're getting a special deal by upgrading for almost nothing. McDonald's value menu prices have increased faster than inflation over the past decade. While general inflation averaged about 2% yearly, the McDouble price jumped from $1 to nearly $2 at many locations, a 100% increase. Another clever tactic is the limited-time value deal. These promotions get you in the door, but they rotate items frequently, so you can't rely on your favorite deals staying available. By the time you return, that 2 for $5 special might be gone, replaced by something slightly less valuable. The dollar menu itself has largely disappeared. It's been replaced by the $1, $2, $3 menu, with most popular items landing in the $2 to $3 range. The truly $1 items are typically small sides that few people order alone. The pricing varies widely between locations, too. A Big Mac meal in New York City costs nearly twice what it does in rural areas. This makes national advertising about value somewhat misleading. The biggest price increases tend to happen just after you've gotten used to a deal. Pretty sneaky, right? But the pricing strategy isn't the only clever business move up McDonald's sleeve. Didn't a Big Mac used to cost like $3? You're not imagining things. McDonald's has gotten significantly pricier over the years, and not just because of normal inflation. A Big Mac that cost $2.39 in 1998 now averages around $5.99 in 2025. That's a 150% increase, while overall inflation during that period was only about 75%. In other words, McDonald's prices have risen at double the rate of inflation. Why the steep climb? Several factors are at play. First, labor costs have increased dramatically. Many states have raised minimum wages, and McDonald's has had to boost pay to compete for workers. In areas with $15 minimum wages, menu prices are typically 20 to 30% higher. Second, ingredient costs have risen. Beef prices in particular have surged in recent years due to climate issues, supply chain problems, and increased global demand. This hits McDonald's especially hard since beef makes up a big chunk of their menu. Third, McDonald's has upgraded many restaurants with fancy digital ordering kiosks, modern furniture, and tablet games for kids. Someone has to pay for those shiny new toys, and it's you, the customer. Fourth, and this might surprise you, franchise owners set their own prices. That's right, McDonald's corporate doesn't control what you pay. Individual franchise owners decide based on their local costs and competition. This is why the same exact meal can cost different amounts even at McDonald's locations just a few miles apart. The most expensive McDonald's in America? The one in the JFK Airport in New York, where a Big Mac meal will set you back over $13. The cheapest? Rural Mississippi, where you might still snag the same meal for under $8. Not only have portion sizes changed over the years, but there's another disconnect that might surprise you. Ever ordered a Big Mac, only to get something that looks like it got stepped on? You open that cardboard box, expecting the tall, perfectly stacked burger from the ads, but instead find a squished, lopsided sandwich that barely resembles the picture on the menu board. Don't worry, you're not being singled out. The gap between advertisement and reality is a carefully crafted illusion that affects every customer. Those mouth-watering burgers in McDonald's commercials aren't made in a regular kitchen. They're created by professional food stylists who spend hours, not seconds, making them look perfect. A single commercial burger can take 4 hours to prepare and photograph. The tricks they use would shock you. Many commercial burgers are only half-cooked, so they don't shrink. The sesame seeds on the buns are often glued into perfect positions. Tiny pins and toothpicks hold layers in place. Makeup sponges are stuffed behind ingredients to push them forward. Even the grill marks are sometimes painted on with food coloring or burned in with heated metal skewers. Want that fresh, juicy look? Food stylists spray burgers with glycerin or motor oil, which is obviously not consumed, to make them glisten under the lights. Those perfect melty cheese drips? Often achieved with a heat gun normally used for removing paint. Meanwhile, at the actual McDonald's you visit, employees have around 30 seconds to assemble each burger. They're working in a high-pressure environment with orders piling up. No tweezers, no special lighting, and definitely no time to arrange each lettuce leaf just so. Imagine trying to create a magazine-worthy burger while someone yells, "2 more quarter-pounders!" and the drive-through line stretches around the building. Yeah, it's not happening. Next time your McDonald's meal doesn't match the advertisement, remember that the commercial version wouldn't taste very good anyway. But there are other disappointments lurking on the menu. The heartbreak is real. You pull up to the drive-thru, mouth already watering for that McWrap or snack wrap you've been craving all day, only to hear the devastating news. Sorry, we don't sell those anymore. McDonald's has a long history of introducing items that gain devoted followers, then yanking them away without warning. Remember the Arch Deluxe? The McDLT? The beloved high-C orange drink that disappeared for years? Each vanished menu item leaves behind a trail of disappointed fans. But why do these items disappear in the first place? The main reason is simpler than you might expect: speed. McDonald's operates on a razor-thin time margin. Every second counts when cars are backed up at the drive-thru. Items like the McWrap took over 60 seconds to make, an eternity in fast food time. The snack wrap, despite selling over 300 million annually, simply took too long to assemble. Cost plays a huge role, too. The McPizza experiment failed because the ovens were expensive and the cooking time was too long. The Hula Burger, a grilled pineapple with cheese on a bun, flopped because customers, unsurprisingly, preferred meat. Supply chain issues cause other casualties. The high-C orange vanished partly because McDonald's signed a deal with Coca-Cola, which didn't make that drink. The McRib comes and goes based on pork prices, returning when costs drop. Sometimes legal issues force changes. The original McFlurry spoons had a square end that attached to the mixing machine, but they were redesigned after people tried to use them as straws and sued when they got injured. The weirdest reason items disappear? To create artificial scarcity. The McRib's limited time status generates massive buzz and lines out the door whenever it returns. If it were available year-round, sales would likely tank after the novelty wore off. While McDonald's keeps removing our favorites, something else at the restaurant constantly disappoints customers. The only thing more reliable than the McDonald's logo is the phrase, "Sorry, our ice cream machine is down." This problem is so common, it's become a global joke. But the truth behind these perpetually broken machines is stranger than you might think. First, let's clear something up. Most of the time, the machines aren't actually broken. They're in cleaning mode. McDonald's ice cream machines require a mandatory 4-hour cleaning cycle that must happen daily. The machines heat the mix to 151 degrees, then go through an 11-step sanitizing process that cannot be interrupted once started. If a staff member accidentally pushes the wrong button or the cleaning cycle starts automatically during a busy time, tough luck, no ice cream for the next 4 hours. The machines also display cryptic error codes that many employees aren't trained to understand. When faced with a confusing technical message, the default response becomes, "The machine is broken." Here's where things get fishy. The company that makes these machines, Taylor, earns millions in repair fees. Only certified Taylor technicians can fix most issues, with each service call costing hundreds of dollars. This creates an odd situation where the machine manufacturer has little incentive to make their machines more reliable or easier to fix. The machines are so notoriously unreliable that someone created a website called McBroken that tracks which McDonald's ice cream machines are working across the United States in real time. According to their data, roughly 12% of all McDonald's ice cream machines nationwide are down at any given moment. In 2021, the Federal Trade Commission even launched an investigation into these machines, wondering if something anti-competitive was happening with the repair monopoly. Talk about a McFlurry of legal problems. While the ice cream machine situation might seem frustrating from a customer perspective, the people who deal with it every day, McDonald's employees have plenty more secrets to share. Ask anyone who's worn the McDonald's uniform, and they'll tell you they've seen things. Behind those counter smiles lie secrets most employees wish they could share. Want the freshest fries? Ask for no salt. Staff will make a new batch just for you. Just avoid this trick during rush hour, unless you enjoy dirty looks from everyone. Drive-through orders always get priority over in-store customers. It's not personal. McDonald's is measured on drive-through speed, and slow times can get managers in trouble. The best time for fresh food? Between noon and 2 or 5 and 7 during shift changes when food is made fresh for the incoming crew. Kindness matters more than you think. Polite customers often get larger portions and faster service, while rude customers might find their drinks are mostly ice. Most dreaded request? No pickles. This means a custom-made burger that disrupts the assembly line flow. Now you know the secrets from both sides of the counter.